Ahoy, crew! Welcome back to the Cruise Ship Safety and Security channel, where we teach you how not to blow things up, literally. Today, we're diving into COSWP Part 3, Chapter 8, Hot Work. This one's about sparks, flames, heat, and the kind of energy that makes the fire alarm scream and the safety officer sprint. So if you've ever used a welder, grinder, torch, or even a heat gun on board, this one's for you. According to COSWP, hot work includes any task that generates flames, sparks, intense heat, or anything that can ignite a flammable substance. That means welding, gas cutting, grinding, soldering, brazing, using blowtorches or heat guns. If your tool can set your overalls on fire, it's hot work. Ships are full of flammable materials: fuels, oils, paints, insulation, rubber gaskets, cargo residue, and more. Hot work in the wrong place or without proper control can cause fires, explosions, smoke damage, toxic gas release, or in worst-case scenarios, loss of life and the ship. Remember, one spark in a poorly ventilated space can lead to catastrophic consequences. COSWP is crystal clear: no hot work without a valid permit. Before the job starts, the designated officer must complete a risk assessment, issue a hot work permit, inspect the area, confirm fire equipment is in place, arrange for a fire watch, check for nearby flammables or gas hazards, ensure proper ventilation and gas freeing if in enclosed spaces. The permit must be signed by both the authorizing officer and the person carrying out the work, and it must be canceled once the job is complete. Hot work requires a dedicated fire watch. Someone who is trained has a charged fire extinguisher, watches during the work, and stays for at least 30 to 60 minutes after to check for smoldering or reignition. Other precautions include removing flammable material from the area using fire blankets or shields wetting surrounding surfaces, and never doing hot work near tanks, cargo insulation, or enclosed voids unless they've been tested and declared safe. In enclosed or poorly ventilated spaces, the air must be gas-free, checked for oxygen content between 19.5 and 23.5%, and free of flammable vapors or toxic fumes. Ventilation may be needed before and during the work, and continuous monitoring must be used in spaces where conditions can change. Gas testing isn't optional. If there's a doubt, there's no hot work, full stop. Hot work PPE isn't your standard boiler suit and helmet. COSWP says you need flame-retardant overalls, welding mask or goggles, heat-resistant gloves, respiratory protection if working in confined or fume-heavy areas, safety boots with toe protection. And don't forget, inspect your PPE before use. A hole in your glove isn't ventilation. It's a ticket to a second-degree burn. If things go wrong, hit the emergency stop. Use your nearest extinguisher and know how to use it. Sound the alarm, evacuate the area, notify the bridge and fire team. COSWP insists that all hot work must have a fire watch, first response equipment nearby, and clear rehearsed emergency procedures. COSWP says no hot work is to be undertaken unless a thorough risk assessment has been made and appropriate safety measures are in place. Hot work is never just a quick weld. If it's not controlled, it's a floating fire hazard. So let's recap COSWP Part 3, Chapter 8. Hot work includes any spark-producing task. A hot work permit is mandatory. No exceptions. Fire watch, gas testing, and ventilation are essential. PPE must match the risk. Emergency planning must be in place before you strike an arc. If you learned something, give this video a like, subscribe, and share it with that one crewmate who thinks the galley's a good spot for some quick welding. Coming up next, Chapter 9, Cargo Handling and Operations, where we explore how moving tons of cargo requires more than just strong muscles and good luck. Until then, stay safe, stay fireproof, and remember, one spark, no plan, no chance.